Laga laga yenge.
Ramesses Productions presents
The Rhyme Factory and
DJ Dylan, the Rhyme Master.
DJ Dylan rhymes with billions, just like Ian's. Lost a million while in league.
DJ Dylan, the Rhyme Master.
Born and bred to be bright and brave, spun the spider from his powder.
DJ Dylan, the Rhyme Master.
Fast and furious, but not inferior, free of fear from men or spear.
DJ Dylan, the Rhyme Master.
Terrible of the Taiwo is what he's called. My lord must assure his credibility by surely editing Taiwo's invincibility.
The Rhyme Master.
He that must be shattered like matter, which is cluttered with clatter.
Had it been that all dead beings were buried in coffin, all trees in the forests would have gone into extinction. Cast divination for hundreds of beings were coming from the city of heaven to earth. Had it been that all dead beings were buried in coffin, all trees in the forests would have gone into extinction. Cast divination for struggle and strive were coming from heaven to earth. We are only struggling, all of us we are only striving. Those that are destined to be exceedingly rich like Bill Gates, are not many. We are only struggling, all of us we are only striving. Not all of us are destined to marry bankers' daughters and sons. We are only struggling, all of us we are only striving. Not all of us are destined to be Olympic champions. We are only struggling, all of us we are only striving. Not many rappers are destined to reach Snoop Doggy Dogg, Dr. Drake, Jay-Z, and Warren G.S. height. We are only struggling, all of us we are only striving. Not many celebrities are destined to be associated with the word luminous truth, like Quentin Tarantino and Jamie Foxx, who spoke out, despite having everything to lose and nothing to gain. We are only struggling, all of us we are only striving. Those that are destined to be stupendously famous are not many. We are only struggling, all of us we are only striving. Please watch my next bulletin.
Ramesses Productions presents
The Rhyme Factory and
DJ Ramesses,
Imran Teensman, wow.
the Rhyme Master. Diodazed, always standing, and in Congo, from printing Congo, with a big ego, just like the linger of the bingo. And those that grumble, they had them garbled in a mango of tongue. The Rhyme Master. Diodazed, always standing. But Bogo Bantu of Bono village said, there's a man called Terrible of the Taiwan, from Bumba, the land of the perpetually puking gun of purposeless piffles. The Rhyme Master. He is said to be high and mighty and free of fear from men of spear. My lord must assure his credibility by editing Taiwan's invincibility. The Rhyme Master.
Imran Teensman, wow.
He that must be shattered like matter, which is cluttered with clatter. I heard was thrown out of heaven for hideous rebel that caused an upheaval of pure evil. The Rhyme Master. Diodazed, always standing. Fast and furious, but quite delirious, he arrived at Taiwan's feeling superior. He was frantic and quite ferocious to find Terrible deep in slumber, lying on rubber, made from blubber, in the gutter, from his supper. The Rhyme Master. Taiwo turned, fastening his gaze on the feeble fist of his foolish foe. What a joker, like a player in a poker. Diodazed, always the Rhyme Master. Find me further to munch or crunch that is fit for a friar in prayer with liars. DJ Ramesses. It is time to flip the fibs and riddles of front fibs in front
Rhyme Factory.
The riddles in your fiddles and what the fuddle. Your fibs are fraught of flips and fling. The fuddles in your fiddles and what the riddles.
The Rhyme Buster.
You flip and fling your fraught of fibs that has things onto which to cling, which has no prospect of wearing a blink. It is time to flip the fib and riddles of fraught fibs in front.
Rhyme Factory.
With truncheon to bludgeon, and the spear of fear to spare. For Pope of the Third, innocent he is not. With his dictum of kill them all and all of them, the Lord will recognize his own when he's home alone. It is time to flip the fib and riddles of fraught fibs in front.
The Rhyme Buster.
Pontificating and parabolating on the part and prance of peerless pens, land of appetitory, perpetually persecuting purposeless puzzles of piffles, pineal of our grand, especially sparse of super power, cluttering our crown with chronic cares, spinning our spirits to spineless spooks.
The Rhyme Buster.
Your erroneous history in mystery is cryptically risky. On the lips of Rote Iscariot, the Judas jettison, giggling and juggling like Jesuit Jake. The dithering dictators are dawdling in doctrinal doodles.
The riddles in your fiddles aren't worth the fuddle. Your fibs are froth of flip and fling. The fuddle in your fiddles aren't worth the riddles. You flip and fling your froth of fibs, that has things unto which to cling, which have no prospects of wearing a blink. For Pope of the Third, innocent he is not, with his dictum of kill them all and all of them, the Lord will recognize his own, when he is home alone. The frightening freak, they found and flung, were fast and furious, sometimes superior. They were armed from head to heel, and hailed as heroes, in the hall of Paul. With truncheon to bludgeon, and the spear of fear to spare. For innocent he is not, Pope of the Third, with his blubber-bottomed baboons, of babbling bishops, battering down our bleeding broods, with Babel brutes. You taught, the doctrine of messing with our brain, to leave your mess in our crest. Pontificating and perambulating, on parting prance of peerless pangs. Gland, of our pituitary, perpetually persecuting purposeless puzzles of piffles. Pineal, of our gland, especially sparse, of superpower. Cluttering our crowns with your chronic chaos. Spinning our spirits into spineless spooks. The fuddle in your fiddles aren't worth the riddles, you flip your fibs on froth. Flipping and flinging of your fibs, has no ringing to bling. Your erroneous history, in mystery, is cryptically risky, on the lips of robed Iscariot, the Judas jettisoned. Jiggling and juggling like Jesuit Jake. Your dithering dictators, are dawdling, in the doctoring our doodles. We taught it all to one, to be all in one and one in all, that the truth, is the track, to traversing the stars. Centering the cycles of circles, crossing circumferences, distance calculating curriculum, conceived in African antiquity. The riddles in your fiddles aren't worth the fuddle. The ring on the disc, onto which you cling can't bling. Declaring to our noodle to clear your oodles, we are now at home in our dome. Our quest for the chest in their nest, has led to investment in the rest. We just will test the pests. It is time to flip, the fiddling riddles of fraud fibs in froth.
DJ Leo, drive the Clio. Ramesses Productions presents
The Rhyme Factory and
DJ Leo.
DJ Leo, drive the Clio, not from Rio. Gave a pillow to Padre Pio.
The Rhyme Buster.
DJ Leo.
Drove the dome from home to Rome. Cool and collected, but not yet elected.
The Rhyme Buster.
DJ Leo.
Not superior, but quite serious, while curious.
The Rhyme Buster.
DJ Leo.
playing the lingo of the bingo from the bongo in the Congo.
The Rhyme Buster.
Like the hip and the hop, but hope not to pop.
Deo dazzling, always stunning, made in Congo from cryptic bongo, grotesquely glorifying his godlike gifts, about superpower, with a big ego, just like lingo of the bingo. And those that grumble, he had garbled, in a mangle of tangle. Deo Dazzler, wasn't dawdling, when he met, Bongo Bantu of Bono village saying, I know of a man from land of Bumba, the perpetually puking god of purposeless piffles. He is said to be high and mighty, and free of fear, from men, or spear. Terrible of the Taiwo is what he's called, my lord must assure his credibility, by editing Taiwo's invisibility. He that must be shattered, like matter, which is cluttered, with clatter. I heard, he was thrown out of heaven, for hideous revel. That caused an upheaval of pure evil. Fast and furious but quite delirious he arrived at Taiwo's feeling superior. He was frantic and quite ferocious to find terrible deep in slumber, lying on rubber, made from blubber, in the gutter, from his supper. Declaring I am here to bash Taio into a babbling bust from bleeding blobs. It took 33 men with 33 sticks, beating Taiwo for 33 minutes, just to arouse him. And 33 lions biting and scratching him for 33 minutes, to finally wake him up. Once awoken, he uprooted 33 palm trees for his chewing sticks. And eat 33 melons for starters, 33 cows for the main course and 33 pineapples for dessert. He broke 33 coconuts on his head every minute for 33 minutes, while standing on hot burning coal, just to warm himself up for the impending battle. Then he said, which mortal man want to fight I, who had mounted the scorpion men from the mountains of Machu? I have worn the shirt of Seth. I have met, and jest with death. Taio turned, fastening his gaze, on the feeble fist, of his foolish foe. And said, what a joker, like a player, in a poker. Find me fodder to munch or crunch, that is fit for a friar in prayer with liars. He who dares the bear, must eat the shears. Deo Dazzling, was no more stunning, finally found wanting, in his fabricated fallacy of froth. Awe-stricken by his fearsome foe, his legs began to shake, his mind was no more on the mend, his soul was full of dread, it's time to fight or flee. His heart wanted to stay, but his body refused to obey. His quest has ended in a mess. The ancient African divination system of IFA, exhort us to be honest. The people who control our world today are too insincere. They said conviction politicians on earth, number less than 100, but the number of career politician is over millions. They said ethical CEO on earth, number less than 5, but the number of unethical ones, is over 50,000. The deities forbids us from compromising the truth. Cast divination for Arunmila on the day he would be saddened by all compelling incidents. They were asked to offer sacrifice so that there would be many upright people in the world. They did, and thereafter many conviction politicians and ethical CEOs began to appear on earth. And life was sweet for all human beings. If only. Whatever one feels sad about should be one's point of persistent reference. If it is the fortune of wealth that saddens us, let it sadden our destiny so that we get to accumulate wealth. Whatever one feels sad about is one's point of persistent reference. If it is the fortune of children that saddens us, let it sadden our destiny so that we get to have children. Whatever one feels sad about is one's point of persistent reference. If it is the fortune of houses that saddens us, let it sadden our destiny so that we get to build good houses. Whatever one feels sad about is one's point of persistent reference. If it is the fortune of good health that saddens us, let it sadden our destiny so that we get to have good health. Whatever one feels sad about is one's point of persistent reference. If it is the fortune of good partner that saddens us, let it sadden our destiny so that we get to have a good partner. All the good fortunes that saddens us in the world, let it sadden our destiny so that we get obtain good tidings. All the things one feels sad about is one's point of persistent reference. Please watch my next bulletin.